Feast your eyes on the world's only and best American superbike. This is a 2024 BUELL Hammerhead. This is American Patriot Edition, custom paint, red, white, and blue livery, and some awesome red and stitching and logo on the seat. So today we want to talk about the heart of this beast, the 1190cc, 185 horsepower BUELL HELICON 1190. This engine has won multiple AMA national championships, including the original version, which if you come over here, you'll see the original 1125, that's the 1190. This one right here is the first version, was 1125. This won the 2009 AMA Super Sport Championship. And the engine is very, very similar. That one's just bored out a little bit bigger than this one. This one has the factory race exhaust on it. Sounds very similar to that. This is the CR or Cafe Racer version. This exact engine and frame went and won the AMA Super Sport Championship, which is production based. That means it had the stock original brakes, engine, and everything else with not a lot of modifications. It also was undefeated. The 1190 version of the Helicon was undefeated in AMA Hill Climb National Championship last year. Logan Sapala won every round. He won the year before the championship, so twice. And they also won the NHRA Pro Stock Drag Race Championship. So fantastic engine. The Helicon engine was originally, the engine was the idea of Eric Buell, who had gone as far as he could with these air-cooled Buells like this, 2009 X1, which is a Thunderstorm, which was 100 horsepower. As far as they could get with an air-cooled design. He needed a liquid-cooled design. So he put the design on paper, and he contacted the folks at BRP Rotax in Austria. So if Rotax or BRP rings the bell, they make the engines for the Aprilia road race bikes. They make the engines for Can-Am. They also make the BMW F800 engine, and they make a lot of V-twins for ATV use also. So world renowned. They also make airplane engines. So who better to build your motorcycle engine than someone who's qualified to build an airplane engine, right? So this was a complete massive upgrade to the already world-class frame design and suspension and everything Eric had done in many ways. Liquid cooling allowed it to be a more high-performance motor without overheating, and it was designed specifically. Rotax, BRP Rotax designed this engine to fit in this frame. I have a picture of one exploded picture we'll look at in a minute on the computer. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But it's a 72-degree, liquid-cooled, 4-valve per cylinder, fuel-injected downdraft with a massive 11-liter airbox. This isn't the fuel tank. The fuel is housed in the frame. It has a 11-liter airbox with two massive 61-millimeter downdraft throttle bodies. Very efficient. With the ram air. These are ram air scoops that you see on the front here, which make a huge difference when you're doing 183 miles per hour. And that's what this thing's governed at. It will do 183. Matter of fact, it'll do 174 in fifth. Ask me how I know. Chris Poulin did 174. We have it on video in fifth gear. So there's a lot of potential in this bike. They've been pretty much bulletproof. They've been in production for about 16 years. It's been an evolution from the 1125 to the 1190 in the brand new 2024. So it's a 72-degree V-twin, which was perfect for Eric's vision of having a straight downdraft on a straight shot for the intake on the throttle body, so it would flow really good. And he wanted the trilogy of tech with Eric is centralization of mass, low unsprung weight, and a massive heavy-duty stiff frame, and he got all those things. And it took him from the Stone Age of the air-cooled Buells, which I love that engine, but it's a Harley-Davidson Sportster engine. They can only go so far with it. They actually had a full race version, the final version of that, which was 150 horse, but the production version was 103, this Thunderstorm 1203. And they went from 103 to 146 horsepower. That's a massive increase. And 80 foot-pound of torque, which is a lot. And the best thing about this engine, this makes a spectacular road bike because it's a V-twin. It's very torquey. The torque on this thing from 3,000 RPM to 10,500 only fluctuates 6 pounds. So you got at least 74 pounds. If you watch the videos of me riding the Super Fighter over here, Eric never called this bike over here. He never called this a Street Fighter. He called it a Super Fighter, and it was the first of its kind ever made because it was the exact same engine that won the Super Sport AMA Grand National Championship, put into a Street Fighter package where all the other manufacturers were actually available for sale, and it's loaded with a lot of really cool upgrades, including the custom exhaust, the quick shifter, and some other things. But back to why this is such a kick-ass road bike. Now, with a 100 foot-pound of torque, no less than 94 from 3,500 RPM. The videos of me riding this, when I come around the corner, I crack the throttle, it immediately stands up. It's a short wheelbase. It handles ridiculous. It's very light, weighs 419 pounds, actually less than that with this custom exhaust. And you've got 185 horsepower, which is absolutely obscene. Now, the best part about the Helicon V-Twin is where the four cylinders that they were competing with in all the different arenas that I talked about, let's say at 6,000 RPM, 5, 6, 7,000 RPM, you've got 20 more horsepower on this than those bikes because they have to rev to the moon. They're four cylinder, they're small pistons, they got to rev to the moon, where this one's got a lot of horsepower and a lot of torque down low, so it makes it a kick-ass street bike and a kick-ass hill climber, a kick-ass road racing bike, and an excellent drag race bike. Excellent traction, lots of torque down low, and plenty of power all over the place. So we're going to take a walk over and show you on the computer the engine in exploded view because you can't see it that well on the bike. Guys, here's an exploded view, which will show you, you can't really see it that well on the bike, as I said, but here's the straight down draft that you have here on the 61 millimeter throttle bodies. Well, actually, we have a bike taken apart next to us. I'll show you too. But this shows the exposed view of the chain-driven double overhead camshaft configuration. This is called a silent chain, and it opens the intake valves, and it's gear driven to the exhaust valves. So it's a very compact, very efficient system. And Eric wanted this to be a compact engine so it would fit inside of the frame. It'd be lightweight and excellent for road racing. Now, it's not just a road racing engine. This is a kick-ass street bike engine. And I got the shirt on right here. Check this out. This is a picture of the Super Cruiser. I don't know if you can see it. But this is going into production next year. We're taking deposits. Bill Melvin's got over 7,000 deposits on these. 30 of them came from us. This engine's going into the first, they're calling it a Super Cruiser, just like they called the Super Fighter, because it's a super bike engine going into a Harley-Davidson FXR inspired chassis with the best suspension and brakes money can buy. In fact, Fox suspension, just like on your motocross bike. So, but anyway, back to the engine that's in the Street Fighter, the Super Fighter, the Super Cruiser, and the Hammerhead, the road racing version. This engine is spectacular. It's very lightweight. It looks similar in design to some of the KTM engines, but they're 1190. But it is not only a kick-ass road race engine, it's a kick in all applications of racing, but it's excellent for the road because it has triple counterbalancers. It has one at the bottom of the flywheel, crankshaft, and it has one up by the water pump, and it has one on the other side, on the ignition side. So there's very little vibration, allowing you to rigid mount this engine. One of the other really cool things is the clutch. It's a 6-speed transmission, and it has a slipper clutch, which works on your deceleration, so that when you go into a corner, if you watch some of the racing videos, type in BUELL racing, road racing, they'll be coming down a straightaway 180 miles an hour and just tap on down to fifth, down to fourth, and it'll be bouncing off a rev line, but it won't lock up the rear wheel. So it makes it phenomenal for going into corners. The slipper clutch, 6-speed transmission. The cam profile is very aggressive on this motorcycle, which gives it the horsepower and torque that we're looking for. And of course, it's liquid cooled. And of course, 4 valves per cylinder, just like any modern sport bike would have, and they're big valves with lumpy cams. You heard how nasty that thing sounds. It sounds wicked with the off-road or race exhaust on it. Guys, this is a really, really special BUELL motorcycle. They only made, I heard it was supposed to be 100, but I think they stopped production at 65 or 70. Bill Melvin, the owner of BUELL, told me. It comes from the factory. We'll have a whole video on this bike because there's literally pages of specialty features about this bike, which is why it costs $50,000. But the Olin suspension, the magnesium wheels. Anyways, back to the reason why I wanted to show you this bike is we were working on this one right here. So if you take a look inside the airbox, you can see these massive 61 millimeter downdraft throttle bodies. And you can see, this is the racing version. It has the carbon fiber air box, and it gives you an idea. Just, can you go ahead and pull the butterfly? Pull the, twist the throttle. This thing is gnarly, man. From 3,000 RPM to 10,500, you've got more horsepower and torque than you'll ever need. So engine modifications, you could spend $40,000 on your Harley Davidson cruiser, and it would never be what this bike is, because this bike weighs, the regular production version weighs 419 pounds instead of 719. So the power to weight ratio is just ridiculous. This one's covered in carbon fiber everywhere. The air box. Now, can you pull this one more time? I also wanted to show that the fuel tank is in the frame here on this. So this is where you fill the fuel, and it goes all the way down to here. So it has, I think it's 5.6 gallons. It's a massive tank. So when you're racing at Daytona, or if you're riding it cross country, or wherever the hell you're going, you got plenty of fuel, and it gets really ridiculous fuel mileage. This Rotax inspired, it's now made entirely in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Rotax designed it, but now it's assembled and machined right in Grand Rapids, Michigan. One of the other things I want to mention is sorry about the sunlight there, but the trilogy of tech that Eric talked about. A lot of that was designed into this engine to give you how do you get less unsprung weight out of your engine? Well, rather than putting your dampeners back here, there's no dampeners. That 185 horsepower is going directly to the magnesium wheel, but they put the dampeners up here. Why would you want to do that? On the countershaft sprocket, so it's less unsprung weight, making this one of the lightest production wheels of any motorcycle made. That's how they won the road racing championship, right? So it's part of Eric's concept of having one part do more than one function. Like, this frame is not just a frame, one of the stiffest ones ever made. It's also the fuel tank, and it's also the mount for the engine. The engine is mounted as integral part of the frame. So a lot of thought went into this. This was the pinnacle of 25 years of Eric's engineering and building custom motorcycles. So this RS model, I don't want to deviate too far from the scope of this video, but this is a V-twin, but it has 2 titanium exhausts coming out of the exhaust port and 2 coming out of the rear exhaust port. So it's a 4 into 2 into 1, and it's made out of titanium. You look at the new Ducatis, the custom exhaust for the Ducati is $7,000 just for the exhaust. How do I know? I have one upstairs, and we just did a video on their Street Fighter, but this is truly a world-class piece. Also has carbon fiber twin ram air onto the 8-piston massive perimeter brake on the front of this thing. And one thing I will say, now, when they raced the AMA Superbike Championship with this motorcycle, and they podiumed on it, and they raced World Superbike, they ran the production brake. This is exactly what you'll get when you buy that $20,000 red, white, and blue Hammerhead I just showed you. It's the same brake that's on the $50,000 bikes, the same brake that's on the road racing bike. Why? Because it's good enough. The factory teams from Kawasaki, Suzuki, they have an $8,000 to $12,000 custom brake system on theirs, because the stock ones just aren't up to par. They're running the production brakes, taking these bikes right off the production floor, tuning them, breaking them in, and going to the racetrack. Guys, if you want to get your hands on one of these, this is a very limited production piece. I have 3 of these in stock. I'm going to sell 1 or 2. Give us a call if you're interested in one of the RSs. I have the receipts from the dealer from Fast by Faraci, who sold them originally. They were $47,000. And then on top of that, you had the titanium exhaust and everything else that was added on, the race kit. So they're $50,000 bikes. I also have the production version, which is, they start at $19,900. So you can buy the production one with the shower shocks are about $20,000. This one's gonna be a little, obviously more expensive. We also have in stock the SXs, AKA the Super Fighter or Street Fighter. Got pretty much every color in stock and all the options you could want. Give us a call if you're thinking of getting one of these. We do financing in-house through Freedom Road, and we do take trades. So if you want a world-class American superbike, there's only one way to go. Give us a call, 860-471-0192. That's my son, Kenny Jr.'s phone number. He'll answer the phone and take great care of you. Thanks for watching. God bless American superbikes, and God bless America. BUELL is badass. They're back, and they're here to stay.